Hey everybody, Dr. Ryan Berlin here, and I'm just really excited to share something with you today. If you can hear, I'm fighting something off and I'm under the weather. And so this was a perfect opportunity to talk about what do we do when we're expressing symptoms. So, number one, just going through the idea of the sick mentality versus the healthy mentality. So, anytime you're fighting something off, the tendency is to go in the direction of going, oh no, I'm getting sick, or oh no, I'm sick. And the reality is that we come in contact with germs all throughout our lifetime. And sometimes we're more susceptible and sometimes we aren't. And that has everything to do with the strength of our immune systems and how healthy we are in the moment. Sick people get sick, healthy people stay healthy. And what I mean by that is right now I'm fighting something off and you can hear this. But the reason I'm fighting this off is because my kids and other people that we were around had this cough. And I was around my kids and other people with the same cough for, you know, multiple days, even actually several weeks, and I didn't get it. But a few weeks ago, I sprained my ankle. And after spraining my ankle, I didn't sleep for about 3 days in a row. And when I say I didn't sleep, I literally didn't sleep at all. And what happened was when you're sleeping, that's when you're doing your, restoration and regeneration, healing. And when you're not sleeping well, your body's not getting what it needs to keep up that restorative strength. So I ended up getting my resistance lowered, and I ended up expressing symptoms of fighting something off because not that I was in contact with germs. I've been in contact with these same germs for weeks, but because my resistance went down. So there's this difference between the 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 theory of the germ theory of disease that says you're in contact with germs and germs are what make you sick, versus this idea that it's the terrain and the host. And we talked about this a lot during COVID, but I think that COVID just beat us up so bad that we unfortunately, so many people started adopting this mentality that you can catch something or get sick, and that's not what happens. It's our resistance lowers due to our habits, how we're eating, how we're sleeping, how we're taking care of ourselves, and we're living a sick lifestyle, and then we end up becoming more susceptible to getting symptoms of, sickness and having to fight something off. But right now what's actually happening in my body is I'm having a healthy immune response to a foreign substance, a bacteria, a virus, and I'm actually coughing. I had a fever. I'm doing all these things that are very healthy things. And I want to share some research with you guys because a previous employee of mine had reached out and their family was fighting off the same thing. And I was talking through this and I realized, man, if one of my employees who was in our office day in and day out, who learned this stuff and was anchored to it back then, if they can start to feel maybe unsettled or concerned about whether they're going to get sick or not, then surely any of us can be susceptible to shifting our mindset away from a health mindset. And so I really want to share this with you guys and really build you up so that going into this fall, when we have, football every weekend and people are eating more pizza and wings and maybe drinking more beer, and going into this season of, Thanksgiving and Christmas and holidays and more dessert and more festivities, that we don't have a flu season. We actually have a, health sabotage season. I want to share with you guys some research. So I'm going to screen share these and just talk through a few of these because I think this is so important for us to really understand going into this season. Here we go. This first slide is showing that there's research that shows that people who had more flus, more colds, had more symptoms of fighting off these things naturally over their lifetime, actually showed that in their life later on, they had less breast, colon, rectal, stomach, ovarian, and brain cancer later on in life. So what does this mean? This means that every time that you fight something off, you actually are flexing the muscles, so to speak, of your immune system. That every time that you have a cold, every time that you have the flu, It's similar to going to the gym and building up big, strong muscles. Every time you fight something off, you're building up a bigger, stronger, better immune system for the future against more serious things. This should be exciting. This should be a badge of honor. Anytime that you fight something off naturally now, you should literally think to yourself, I am beating cancer in the future. Why is this? God gifted us with germs, so to speak. He gifted us with viruses everywhere so that our bodies would always have something to be fighting against so that we didn't have to deal with the big bad stuff like the C word, cancer. So every time when I fight something off like this, it's not about whether I'm, this idea of being sick. It's about I'm having a healthy immune response. I'm building up my immune system. I'm flexing my immune muscles and I'm building strength. And how I do it matters more than whether I'm, feeling terrible or not. How I go through this helps me to build that bigger, stronger immune system. I'm not relying on antibiotics. I'm not using decongestants. I'm not reducing a fever. And the reason I don't do those things is they're an interference to what my body is actually trying to do. That my body is trying to have a healthy immune response. It's trying to build future immunity to something right now so that right now I'm building immunity so that later on I don't have to deal with the bigger thing like cancer in the future. Do you guys see that? 30% reduction. 30%. That's not a small amount. There's nothing else out there that you can do that can reduce your risk of cancer by 30% like you can when you just fight off a cold or flu naturally. I'm going to share a second one with you guys. This one's awesome. We get this one a lot, and this comes from parents that, they start to get worried. I know, but I know we normally do things naturally, but my kid has a fever. Here's the thing. Fevers actually fight viruses and bacteria. If a fever is over 104, over 104 degrees, right? Not at 104. Read that. It says over 104. Diseases are shortened by letting the fever run its course. Sniffles, sneezes, and fevers are good for you. They clear your airways of harmful irritants and allergy-causing substances. Coughing rids the body of bacteria and viruses by way of the lungs. And if you take a fever-reducing drug or cough suppressant, you can actually add to pneumonia or more serious respiratory infection. This was Dr. William Greeno. He's a professor of medicine from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. So again, you guys saw that. I just shared it with you that over 104 degrees. But wait. Aren't high fevers dangerous? No, they're not. They're not. Let me share this one with you. You guys are going to love this. Another screen share. This one is how high should a fever get? Here we go. Viruses. Oh, all right, here we go. So in this one, if you look, you'll see that fevers have to get up to 103, 104. That a fever at 102, over 102 kills bacteria. So bacteria are killed at 102, which means your fever has to get up to how high? 103, because they're killed at 102. It's going to get up to at least 103 to make sure that those bacteria are killed. At 103, viruses are killed. What does that mean? Your fever has to get up to what? 104, because the viruses are killed at 103. At 104, you're killing viruses and bacteria. Guess how high a fever always gets typically before you start breaking into chills? 105. Why? Because in the center of the brainstem, there's a regulatory area that controls your temperature. And that area is preset by God. He created you for that temperature to only get up to 105 before your temperature resets. And when it resets at 105, it's doing that because it's actually protecting your brain. Here's the thing. Innate intelligence, the inborn intelligence in your body, will never harm the structure in which it resides. That's a principle of chiropractic. And that principle states that your body is intelligent and it will never hurt itself. It will raise the temperature to kill bacteria. It'll raise the temperature to kill viruses. But God created your body that it has a self-preservation system within your immune system that will reset its temperature when it hits 105. And the way it does that is you break into a sweat. You get the chills. If you get a fever to the point where you have chills and you're sweating, that's a perfect fever. That fever is getting to that 104, 105. It's killing viruses. It's killing bacteria. And if you guys saw that screen share, you're producing a chemical called interferon. There's another chemical called interleukin. Those chemicals are not produced until your body temperature gets up to that 103, 104, 105. So again, I'll share that with you one more time. Here's the screen share. You'll see this, that temperature has to get up to 103, 104, 105 so that it can kill the bacteria, the viruses, by way of producing these powerful immune chemicals like interferon and interleukin. So what do you do? What do we do when we have a fever? What do we do when we're not feeling well? Number one, honor your symptoms. Number one, you want to honor your symptoms and you want to make sure that you're not trying to interfere with what your body's doing. So what do? We sleep more. We get outside. We try to get more sunlight. We breathe clean, fresh air. My family this weekend, because we're all dealing with this and fighting it off, we went on a hike. We went out there. We, sweated. We got outside. We got sunlight. We were breathing. We were in the woods and we're taking in clean, fresh air. So number one, get outside, get sunlight, get fresh air. Number two, what do? We double down on adjustments. What I notice is the people that get sick more frequently are getting adjusted less. That typically when people are expressing these symptoms, it's because they're already in a state of lowered resistance. They've not been getting adjusted regularly. They're eating things they shouldn't be eating. They're not getting the rest they should be getting. So we get adjusted more, not to treat the condition, not to treat the fever, not to try to reduce the fever. We get adjusted. Why? To reduce subluxation and remove interference. Reduce subluxations that are interfering with our nervous system so that our body can express more health, more vitality, more life. We're not treating conditions. If we take vitamin D, if we take vitamin C, if we take zinc, we're not taking it to treat a condition. We're taking it to make sure our body has the immune building blocks it needs, the things that support our immune system to do the job it needs to do. So again, get outside, get sunlight, get fresh air, get rest, sleep more, not less. Take more naps. In fact, right now it's hard at night. I can actually feel like at night, for some reason, this thing starts getting a little more overwhelming. I cough more at night. So I've been taking naps during the day because for some reason I'm able to sleep better during the day than I am at night. So I'm resting more and I'm resting when my body is allowing me to rest more favorably. Number three, is eat less. Eat less. There's research that shows that when we eat more while we're sick, there's this old saying that if you feed a cold, you're going to have to starve a fever. Meaning if you eat things, and particularly things you shouldn't when you're fighting off a cold, then you're going to have a more serious immune response in the future. And starving a fever, when you have a fever, you don't feel like eating. When you have a fever, you have less appetite. Why? Because innately your body is letting you know what you need to do. That when you don't eat, there's actually hormones that are triggered that drive your immune system to function more adequately. So when you're not feeling good, eat less. In fact, even fasting is a great idea. One of the things that I do, juice. So you guys know that we have a juice bar now attached to our office. Why? Because this is something that we do to make sure that we're expressing health well. It's hard to get this much nutrition into the body, particularly when you don't feel like eating, but you still want to support your immune system. Green juice and all the juices that they sell at the Green Farm Juicery, that's a perfect meal when you're not feeling great. There's less fiber. It's not as hard on your digestive system. It takes less energy. Where does that energy get used instead? Fighting off, the thing that you're dealing with, or the virus or bacteria you're trying to fight. So get outside, get fresh air, get rest, get adjusted, and then just get your nutrition in order so that you can build strong immune function during this time. Vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, the same stuff we told you guys during COVID. It's true about anything. It's true about whooping cough. It's true about what's going on right now, monkeypox. And we're literally talking about monkeypox. Like it's the next thing. Here's the reality. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the virus is. It doesn't matter what the bacteria is. What matters is how healthy you are, how strong your immune system is, what you're doing in your habits. See you guys at your next adjustment. Remember, get adjusted more, not less. If you're feeling great, wonderful. Don't skip adjustments. Your rhythm matters. It's just like the gym. Rhythm matters. When you get out of rhythm in the gym, you start putting on weight. When you get out of rhythm with your adjustments, you start lowering your resistance and you're going to end up getting sick. Remember, sick people get sick, healthy people stay healthy. This is not sick. This is a healthy response. Why? Because I'm doing healthy things to build my immunity. Sick people get sick. If you're making the habit of doing the wrong things and you end up sick, if you continue that habit, you're going to end up far sicker. That you're going to continue down that path. I'm going the other way. I'm fighting this off. My body's going to overcome this bacteria or virus or whatever it is, not the other way around. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Be blessed. Have a wonderful day.